Now, the ripple effect of Rudy's positive test made its way through every major professional sports league as they canceled events and postponed seasons.
Yeah, the NCAA was quick to follow suit, canceling all winter and spring championships, including the NCAA tournaments. This is the first time in the history of college hoops that the tournament has been canceled. The tournament has been held every year since it began in 1939, and the women's tournament has run every year since it began in 1982. Mark Pope, he was pretty emotional knowing this was it for this year's team.
I'm not an expert on the spread of disease. I'm certainly not an expert on COVID-19, and you know, if it was at all possible to you know, have this tournament safely or to postpone it with the potential of having it safely, you know, I think there's nobody in the world that wouldn't be in support of that.
Mark, what should the NCAA do for seniors on these winter teams in regards to maybe their eligibility? I mean, do you feel like they should get an opportunity to maybe get another year back?
Clearly, I have to be careful with the way I say things. I do think that there's been some momentum in the last few hours from all different corners, because I think there's other programs that are feeling the same thing that we are. You know, this is, you know, we're certainly in uncharted territory. The NCAA has never had with a pandemic before. This team is, you know, I'll tell you, I believe this is true. There was nothing that could stop this team this year. It wasn't suspensions or injuries or a coaching change or a roster overhaul or you know, or adversity or tough losses or incredibly difficult schedule. The one thing that stopped this team this year was a pandemic, right? It was. I do believe this group was so committed. There was nothing that was going to be able to stop them besides something otherworldly. And so, you know, if I do suspect that I have a large group of seniors on this team that have fought so hard for this, and they still got a boatload of fight in them. And if the NCAA, you know, saw fit to grant them another shot at this, which seems, you know, potentially like it's the only just or fair thing to do, then I think we'd have some guys that would be really excited about it.
When you look back on 2019-20 in your first year at BYU, what ultimately are you going to take with you, either in your heart or in your head, moving forward, that you'll always think of when you think of this year?
Well, I mean, that's easy. It's not even close. Like, I love these young men. It's an extraordinary thing when it's an extraordinary and humbling thing when young men give you when they're willing to give you their trust, and that is you know, it's a real gift as a coach that you rarely it's the building blocks and foundations of a group that can be really special. And these guys are unbelievably generous to each other and willing to fight for each other, and they've been unbelievably generous to us as a staff. And you know, it just has happened way too fast. Like, we're supposed to have some more time to evaluate everything and soak it in and figure it out. And we'll be able to do that in the coming weeks. But it's no doubt. If there's one thing that's extraordinary about these teams, is just the love that we feel for each other, between these players and each other, and certainly me as a coach and these players.